This is the Apex Pro Mini. There's a big label on the box claiming it's the best gaming keyboard, and marketing its OmniPoint analog switches, which are not flawless, and I'll get more into that later when I get to talking about the various features that this keyboard has. But first, let's get into form factor. This keyboard is 60%, which means no dedicated arrow keys or F keys. You can access these via the Steelseries function key, and they're printed on the side of the stock keycap, which is a great visual aid when getting used to the keyboard. The 60% layout does make it hard to recommend for people that play games with a lot of keybinds, because while you have access to a lot of these keys, having to access them through a function key can make it quite complicated when you're in a heated situation. But now let's get into my issue with rapid trigger. When you set the sensitivity for rapid trigger to 0.1, you get a weird flickering in game, as you can see here. This is very noticeable when you're just playing games. Suddenly you'll feel like you're moving half speed. The fix is very simple. Just set rapid trigger to 0.2 and these flickering issues go away, at least on my copy. I do wonder if this is a QC issue, just with my copy. Now for the meta bindings. So you can have a second keybind on a key just by holding in the Steelseries function key. When you hold this key, the places where you have a second keybind on the meta function will light up orange on the keyboard. I was not able to find a way to change this color, so when you have an orange color as your main color, it can be very difficult to distinguish the meta bindings color from the main color of the keyboard. Assigning a key is very simple. You can either click the key in the UI or hover over to the left hand row where all the keys are listed. You'll be greeted by a lot of options in the drop down menu where you can set your own key, or you can even assign a macro. Be sure to hit save on both this drop down menu and the main configuration screen to apply this. You can also bind the Steelseries key to another key by selecting meta layers in the key bindings menu, which may make it easier to access without using your mouse hand. Keep in mind that you can only have one button bound to meta layer as of now. This seems like a weird limitation to me, and I hope Steelseries fixes it in the future. And now for the last feature made possible by this being an analog keyboard: dual bindings. You have a limit of 8 of these on the keyboard, and I don't quite understand why. When you just try to set one, you will get a notification screen telling to set one of these first. So head on over to dual actuation and set an actuation distance lower for the key you want to apply the dual binding to. With that all set, let's go back to dual binding. Here you can get the same drop down menu as you could get with meta bindings. Just select the key, click done, and hit save. Here I want to show you how it behaves. So it will trigger the top key press, then the bottom key press, but when coming back up it will also trigger the top key press again. Trying to use rapid trigger did not change the behavior of it pressing the top key again, which is because dual bindings take priority over rapid trigger. Finally, for the functionality of this keyboard, let's get into the macro editor. You can get to the macro editor by pressing the launch button. Then you can record a macro and edit it to your liking. You can adjust the delay and the key that you've pressed. It's fairly comprehensive, a good macro editor. You can also just add a text macro, create a new macro and enter text macro. Name the macro to whatever you like. You can also just not bother. Now just go to a key that you want to assign this macro to and you're all done. Hit done and save and it should be set. Finally, for a short verdict on what it's been like to use this product. It's analog, but it's missing controller emulation. Some of the competitors out there do have this feature. Luckily the rapid trigger is good, although not perfect. I've been using it since December, and only occasionally went back to a full-size keyboard for games like Elite Dangerous. The connected feel you get from this keyboard, due to the low delay, is quite nice. It's worth a buy if you can pick it up on sale for like 100 to 130 bucks. That is for the wired edition that I have. If you made it this far into the video, a like would be appreciated. Thank you very much for watching.